crossing my fingers. Lag. Okay, somebody try saying something.
Hello.
Howdy.
Okay, somebody try saying something.
Hello.
Sweet, it's working. I love it when things work.
Love it when a plan comes together.
Yes, it makes my life so much easier when things just work. Okay. How are you, Cameron?
I'm okay. It looked like somebody posted a suicide note on Nextdoor, so I clicked it. I was like, oh no, but like a billion people had added inspiring comments and shit. It's like trending. So everything's okay, but I was a little panicked for a moment because all it gives you in your email is like the first sentence and a half of a post and no other information. So I was like, oh wow. Yeah. So that guy's okay, which is good.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I didn't expect it to be like trending with everybody helping and stuff, but that's pretty cool.
The Nextdoor actually helped something?
No
Yeah,
shit.
really.
I was
It
just
didn't, like,
thinking that.
delete it.
Usually it's just for people to find lost cats or bitch about their neighbor's grass or something.
Right. Yeah. It's the we can't afford to set up a homeowners association app.
Oh, it's still way better than an HOA.
Yeah, true.
It's free. But,
Right.
yeah, it's kind of far away, but I think a bunch of elderly people got together and helped whoever this guy is. So it's cool.
Well, that's good. It actually did something good.
Yeah. Who knew it was possible?
I know, right? In this day and age, what? Back in my day, we were properly shown him how to hold the gun.
Yeah, back in my day, we'd say do a flip.
Right? Yes. Yes. Right.
That's what you get for posting on the internet.
Yes.
Are Brian or Carrie coming? I'm trying to. Is there anybody else?
Brian was here.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you're not on Roll20.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh. Whoops. I'll be right there.
Cool.
And I don't think... I think Carrie's still working on Saturdays. So, unfortunately, she probably won't make it. Let's see here. I need to put...
Did I step away and stuff happening? Is that what happened?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I stepped away and stuff happened, Tom.
Yeah, they are at the final big boss fight.
It's over
Oh,
with. No.
I leave for one day. You guys get to the boss. I needed to caffeinate with my cup of tea. I apologize for my delay.
No worries.
What is the boss fight of whatever we're fighting? What is it?
It
Do we know?
is... Well, we will get to all of that here in but a moment. I guess I need you to roll initiative so we can fit you
As
into
soon
the
as
stack.
Roll20 goes for me, I'll be in. It's like resetting itself 3 times. Like, come on, Roll20, get your stuff together.
Yeah, it's got to make sure that make sure that it's doing everything twice and in triplicate.
You signed the triplicate form? I feel Roll20 to me right now.
So the good news is that the YouTube channel is finally taking off and blowing up, and I'm really glad to see it. So we've gotten a lot of new subscribers, and there's people coming in every day. So
no, I gotta ask, is like, which one of your games is the most popular one now?
So far, and this could just be because it is a new campaign, but so far it is the Friday night Deep Night Revelation campaign. But I've noted for a while that the Traveler games have been doing way better than the D&D games, and the reasoning for that is it's pretty obvious. It's that D&D is saturated. I mean, you can't throw a rock on the internet without running into a D&D live stream, and so I understand that. But the Traveler fans are just rabid. they want content, and I can't blame them, because there is not very many channels that I've found that are actually doing live play. I know that there's a couple, but the ones that I've found don't seem to be doing it consistently the way that I do. I mean, I have new content coming out every week.
Right.
And the ones that I've found, it seems like, oh, well, there's one that's might come out like maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. And there's no real there's no real sense of, being able to plan for when that's going to come out. And so, it's been very sporadic. And so I can see that I'm filling a niche, and I will write it as far as it can go. I love having the viewers, and I hope that we can get more subscribers. And I'm kind of hoping that there will be a little bit of bleed over. Some of these people that are subscribing to the channel, it's not like Traveler's the only game that they play. There's a lot of them that also play Call of Cthulhu. Of course, most of them also dabble in D&D. So I'm hoping that some of that will bleed over onto this channel, and or onto this particular stream, and then it's going up is I guess the gist of the story. So I am very glad to see it. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We love seeing you. Tell all your friends. Tell them to subscribe. Tell your grandma to subscribe.
And so on and so on.
Yes. So having said that, welcome to Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Right now, the party is in the Grove level of the Sunless Citadel. They came down here basically as a initiation to join a number of factions in Waterdeep. The Lord's Alliance, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Harpers, the Emerald Enclave. They all had a hand in wanting information or something from down here, and they have made it all the way down into the deepest part of the Citadel, into a really messed up, grotesque garden, more or less, called the Grove. And they have made it to the end area where there's a ruined courtyard, and at the end of this courtyard there is a large tree, and it is called the Gulthias tree, and it is tended, this whole grove and the whole idea here is tended by Belak the Outcast, who is a druid. And he went into a monologue last week that also started out that you guys are all fools. And the apples, the white apple in the winter and the red apple in the summer, are actually grown from the Gulthias tree. And one of these side effects is that the Gulthias tree, the seeds from these apples, you notice around here that there are all these little thorny shrubs. Those thorny shrubs eventually turn into twig blights. And so Belak, thinks that. Well, I'm not sure what Belak thinks. He's kind of crazy. He's chaotic stupid. So, also down here, he has basically infected Sir Brayford and Sharwin Creel, who were part of your finding them was part of your mission coming down here, and they are now kind of I want to say zombified, but they're not undead. They're not zombies, but they are now evil, and their skin has turned into a almost like they have bark skin, and they're clearly on Belak's side, and he has also unleashed some of his remaining twig blights. So this is, the big bad final battle, and it is starting off with the twig blight at the top of initiative. But before we get started, I'd like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. These are not partnerships or sponsorships of any kind, and links to all of our friends are down below in the video description. Today we would like to thank Dogmight Games. Dogmight Games makes beautiful wooden tabletop accessories for your role-playing games, such as dice towers, dice trays. They have really cool. They have really cool wooden DM screens, and they have all these additional accoutrements and add-ons that you can do with them, like little magnetic shelves that you can put on the inside of it to hold minis, or clips that you can clip on a dice tower. They've just got really cool stuff. You should check them out. And all of their stuff can be customized. If you order something that is customized with your own image, laser etching, etc., that usually takes about 6 to 8 weeks to ship. But they do have a lot of items that are in stock, and if you're in a hurry, you can order those immediately. And those items ship within 1 to 2 business days of purchase. We have a 10% off discount code for you. Just go and it's good for anything on the site. You can drop that into your cart, and when you check out, use code FRIEND in all capital letters, and that will net you a 10% off your cart. If you're a fan of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, if you click the link at the bottom of the description, we have a web page via Obsidian Portal, and the adventure log on that page is written in the manner of broadsheets that are handed out, telling the news of the city of Waterdeep, and it pretty much tells the news about everything. The big topic, the most recent big topic, is that Mintarn has sent an emissary to Waterdeep, demanding that Laeral Silverhand, the Open Lord of Waterdeep, pay their the final fee for the Mintarn mercenaries that were hired by the previous Open Lord, Dagalt Neverember, who was kicked out of his position and told to get the F out of Waterdeep. And the Mintarn mercenaries actually have the balls to come and demand that Waterdeep and Laeral Silverhand pay them. And she's not having any of that. But as the players gain more notoriety, they will be taking more of a front page stance. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you like the page, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We like to see the fan likes, and we hope you enjoy it. So now that Brian is caught up on the insanity, the twig blights, since Took isn't here today, the two twig blights and Sir Brayford were beating up on Took, and now they're looking around like, where'd he go? They don't have a whole lot of movement. He can get to Empiking, and he can get there. And they're not really, I mean, they are rather, well, you know what? He is just going to dash to get to Edith and be Twiggy in a scary manner in front of Edith. But for Empicking, this Twig Blight is going to attempt to make a claw attack. And he gets 7, so
Yep.
that was uneventful. Sparkles of the Twilight. What would you like to do? It looks like Sparkles had... so Belak has 2 things on him. He has a Hunter's Mark, and somebody else had cast something on him. I don't remember what that was.
It was the Witch Bolt. It was me.
Oh, okay. So you have Witch Bolt. Did you have Witch Bolt on him or Sharwin? I thought you had it. No, you had it on Sharwin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got mixed up. Ignore me.
I think I hexed that dude.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you remember what ability score you picked?
Dex. That way, if someone pushed him or something, he might be impeded. If he had to make a check for prone, he'd have a worse time of it.
Yeah, somebody bitch slapped him pretty hard. So Sparkles, you have Sharwin here, who is crackling with the energy from Emperor Edith as she does a little Palpatine move on Sharwin. And Sharwin is clearly moving towards you. What would you like to do?
Well, let me look to see how many spell slots I got left. Ooh, running low on spell slots. I'm just gonna go ahead and whip an arrow.
All right. Sharwin?
Yeah.
Okay. Squeeze the Sharwin.
Let's see. Do I still have... Oh, I still have a use of favored foe. I'll go ahead and knock out a use of favored foe.
Okay. Yeah, Sharwin... Edith really fucked Sharwin up. Sharwin's not looking real great.
Ah, wrong die. Can't roll a d12 for an attack.
Every time I read the name of the spell Color Spray, I'm like, that has to be the least threatening spell I've ever heard of. Oh, hold on, I'm going to color spray you. Oh, nice.
Now that I actually rolled the right die, I got a nat 20 plus 6.
Oh, man, that's going to be overkill. Go for double damage.
I just think of color spray as jazz hands.
Yes, yeah. It's like, there's stuff all over me.
Let's see. 8, 12, 24 total.
Nice.
Well, she had 1 hit point, so I would say that Miss Sharwin is no longer with us. And I believe that means... Hold on, I need to double check this. Witch Bolt is a pretty cool spell. I mean... it's one of those spells that came out because of 4th edition, and in my opinion, we really didn't need another, lightning bolt, but it is a cool spell that isn't used very often.
Well, I like it that you can change targets with it. It's a sustained target.
That's what I need to look up, yeah.
Yeah, I believe as a bonus action, you can redirect Witch Bolt to a new target.
It doesn't say that.
I thought you could.
I thought you could too. It says a beam of crackling blue energy lances out towards a creature within range, forming a sustained arc of lightning between you and the target. Make a ranged spell attack against that creature. On a hit, the target takes 1d12 lightning damage, and on each of your turns for the duration, you can use your action to deal 1d12 lightning actions to the target automatically. The spell ends if you use your action to do anything else. The spell also ends if the target is ever outside the spell's range or if it has total cover from you. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of second level or higher, the initial damage increases by 1d12 for each slot above. So because it's a ranged attack, essentially she would just be making another ranged spell attack on another creature. So, Witch Bolt ends for Edith.
I my spell slots really well, so I can cast it again if I need to. We're all right.
So Sparkles, bonus action and or movement.
What's this guy here?
Weird.
Who's this?
That's Bug.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah, and Bug is got a 13. Between Bug and Empiking, which one of you wants to go first? Well, you know what? Empiking's gonna get to go first because he's got Twiggy in his face.
That would be the exact reason I don't want to go first. What if Bug can kill Twiggy?
That's true. All right, so I'll put Bug first.
If Bug's willing, that would be my preference. If you kill the Twiggy in front of me, that frees me to make shots.
That's true.
For Sparkles, I'm gonna slide down this way and then this way and try to use that wall as cover.
Okay.
To try to be a little sneaky without rolling stealth.
So that wall will give you +2 to your armor class, and there's nothing coming behind you and nowhere for it to come. So yeah.
Yeah, mostly I'm trying to stay out of line of sight of this guy.
Right. Yeah, he is a big sword swinger. Big sword swinger. He used to hang out at the Red Lion.
Does he do a helicopter with his sword?
He does, yes. Bug, what would you like to do?
You could please kill this person for me unless you have a better plan. Do it.
I have no plan, so that makes my plan, yeah. I'm going to take my path kind of wide here over to here. Like, go to here, so I'm not in that one's range, and then to here.
Yeah.
And then I will attack that guy.
Go to it.
Hey, what an opening roll. Nat 20.
Oh, double damage.
Good
I was like, yay.
The twig blight is going to become kindling. Double damage.
Math, I got this. 6 and 5 is 11. 11 plus 4 is 15, 30.
For
a little overkill.
Yes, for all of his 4 hit points. That is
you septupled his innate hit points.
Yes, that is a dead twig blight.
Well, you know, after being gone for all, I fell asleep. I had to catch up to the party. I had to make it count, you know?
Yeah, good job. Thank you, sir.
Bonus action and movement.
Yes, for bonus action, I am going to cast Expeditious Retreat.
Oh, okay.
And now I can dash every turn until the spell ends as a bonus action. It's basically the only bonus action I have that's worth shit, so figured I'd cast it.
Yeah, Expeditious Retreat, that's a awesome old school spell that, again, doesn't get used nearly enough.
I just figured, it gives you the ability to get into and out of range.
Yeah, Expeditious Retreat and Haste are woefully underused, in my opinion.
So this one's a baddie?
Yep, this guy's bad, this guy's bad, and of course Edith has a guy all up in her grill.
I don't have a bonus action for attacking yet, to my knowledge.
Right.
So.
Okay.
So I'm just going to move myself. Let's see. I got another 10 feet of movement already, and then I can make that up to 40. So I can, go to here and then to, over here. Just get myself, nope, not doing that again. I'm going to go to here. Because I learned my lesson. Don't run into the battle with all the bad guys.
Right. Yes. Strategic.
go to here. I'm assuming this is some form of cover.
Yes, that will give you a +2 bonus to your armor class.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And that's where I'll end.
Okay. Empa King, what would you like to do?
I will make sure Edith is clean for next turn and try and kill the other Twig Blight.
Okay.
So 14 hit.
Yes, it does.
10 points of damage.
That's a dead Twig Blight. And that is the end of said Twig Blights.
And then I will move there.
Okay.
I have no useful bonuses. My hex is on the guy I'll shoot next turn. That's all I got for now. Go to it.
Okay. Miss Edith, what would you like to do?
Let's measure here. Okay, it looks like I can step to the side and witch bolt him from here. Yeah.
You're shooting at Sir Brayford?
Okay, I need a refresher on who the tiles are that are enemies. So this is...
That's Sir
Sword
Brayford.
guy?
He is an enemy. He had made an attack on Took. And then this is Belak, the Outcast, who is the big bad.
Oh, okay. Well, I only have one spell slot left, so that's probably the one that I should hurt the most.
To be honest, well, I guess it really depends on which direction you want to go. So Brayford, he's been smacked at least once, not quite hard enough, but and of course Belak has been hit, and it depends on what you classify as the biggest threat. So Brayford is going to hit hard, whereas Belak is a spellcaster, but he's a druid spellcaster. So I don't know. That's a tough call. His most likely thing to do is he's going to cast Entangle or something ridiculous like that.
I have a couple spells, and I haven't really used those before. Do they use up any spell slots? Or...
At the very least, Edith, don't stay 30 feet away from the guy with the sword. Get further away.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I do have all my movement. I'm just trying to figure out what to do. So with using a scroll, do you have to use up spell slots for that, or does it just use up the scroll?
It just uses up the scroll.
Shit, all these are at 2nd level, though. I don't know if I can cast those. I don't think I can.
I think, is there a caster checklist? We do so little with scrolls, I don't know how they act now.
Okay,
right.
Well, I'm going to use Ray of Frost to try and reduce his movement for the next round.
Good
Nothing
idea.
else. And then I will move away. So that's what I'll do. Okay. 17 to hit.
No, that is a miss.
Shit, really?
Yep.
Okay. We are running now. Do the granny shuffle.
The granny shuffle.
Okay, I can get all the way up there. Cool. Bye. Okay, that's my turn. Sorry,
Okay.
folks.
Sir Brayford. He really wants to go after Edith, but he could do it. Alright, he's going to do that. And he is going to make one attack on Edith. Okay. 19 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
For 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay, let me see if I survived. Yep, I survived. I'm okay. That really hurt, but I'm not dead.
Brave Sir Brayford beating up on an old woman.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Let's see. Belak. Belak's probably crazy because everybody keeps referring to him as the Outcast. He... Let's see, the last thing he did was he cast bark skin on himself. Yeah. No. Shit. Oh, I know what he'll do. He will move there. And then... No more than then. He will cast Dude, Where's My Thunder Wave?
One of the few spells that can technically go around a corner.
Yes. And it'll look really cool because you can just imagine that little crumbled wall blowing apart.
Would that add brick to the face damage?
Yes. Kind of like that. Sort of. So, Bug needs to make a... Where did it go? There it is. You need to make a Constitution saving throw. Are you muted, Bug?
Show list 16.
Okay, so on a failed save...
Damn, 16 failed?
Or, no, I'm sorry. No, you succeeded. Successful save... You take half damage, and you are not pushed back. Last display. You take 9 points... Or, I'm sorry, you take 4 points of thunder damage.
I was like, damn, 9 already?
I'm so used to beating up on Bug that I just automatically... Every time it's like, oh, Bug takes max damage.
There's been quite a few times where one turn has put me very low.
Yeah, right?
I just got back, guys.
Leave me alone. Okay, so that's Belak's turn. Sparkles.
Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Sil says she knows how to allow us to see each other's names. Would you be interested in doing that?
Yes. That you guys can't see each other's names is the weirdest, dumbest problem I've ever seen with Roll20. And trust me, I've seen a lot of dumb problems with Roll20.
I feel like it should default to being able to see the names, and then you can choose to take that away.
No shit, right?
That would be the default option in my mind.
That would be smart.
Right.
Right. Roll20, smart? Yeah, right.
So what is your sorcery?
in the DM settings part, I think that's like the right click. There's a bunch of little boxes that say see and edit. Well, next to the name, there should be like a little 3 dots. And if you click on the 3 dots, there's another box that should pop up with see and edit, and it's that see and edit option that should allow us to see it.
You're talking about in the token settings or in the character settings?
Token. Because she said right click on the token.
Yeah, on the token.
So right click on the token. See, I don't have a DM settings. I've got advanced, I've got layer.
Let me see if I can... I'm bad at the instructions. Give me a sec.
While she looks that up, I'll go ahead and do my turn real quick.
Okay. What would you like to do?
Step out here so my short ass can see over that tiny wall.
Yes.
And then I'm going to shoot the guy.
Go for it.
At least attempt to shoot the guy. Oh, let's see, 16 plus 6, 22 to hit.
That hits.
28. That's going to be 8 damage.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, Jeff found something.
Yeah, all the other help stuff about exactly this issue was old and referred to things in the menu that are no longer gone, but this is from August of this year, so I thought maybe it's updated and there's a screenshot of it that might look like what Chris has on a screen. I've never seen the DM interface, so I'm just shooting in the dark with it.
Okay, hold on here.
It sounds like what you just described.
Yep, shit.
How's everybody's health?
I'm hurting pretty bad, but whatever. I'm far away.
Kill guys.
Okay, I figured it out.
She just went and looked at her computer.
If you click the token, and then hit the little gear, next to general, there should be the 3 little dots, and you can hit see edit in there.
Okay. There we go. Alright, let me try this again. So I'm going to use Edith as my guinea pig. This is stupid. Can you guys see Edith's name now?
Yep.
Oh my god, this is fucking dumb. Why does that even exist?
Initiative stack.
I mean, I'm not sure why this even exists.
Why is it buried?
Well, there's that too, but why would anybody not want to see the other players' names?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, roll 20. If you are paying attention, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Or like Brian said, make that the default and have the option to take it away if needed, but don't make that the default.
I'm going
If we run into a mysterious character, fine, we don't know their name. But otherwise, we should know people's names.
Yeah. But that also means that in the turn order, all the names show up too.
Well, and not only that, but if I didn't want you guys to know the name of a token, all I have to do is not click the check mark and not put a name in.
Yeah.
That's literally all that needs to be done. Okay, so everybody should be able to see everybody now.
Yep.
Yay!
Okay.
Wow, this actually helps.
Thank you, Seal.
They say thank you, sweetheart. She said, well gone.
She's already moved on. I think I've done my good deed for the day.
Yes. So you have tagged him with an arrow. He's bleeding profusely, but he's not down yet. So you have bonus action and movement left.
No real bonus action, but I'll move up here so I can start moving towards the rest of the party for healing.
Okay. All right. Bug, what would you like to do? Since, Belak the Outcast just tried to hand clap you. Chimes.
That was unnice of him. I will step out from behind my cover, which clearly didn't help me, to here.
Okay.
Which gives me still 10 feet between them, right?
Yeah. Let me double check that, but I want to say yes.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I moved my token up here.
Yes.
Wait, are we not bound to the grid?
We are not. I got rid of the... I've decided I don't like the grid.
Not bound to the grid. I was like, this is weird.
I get free movement. Yeah, I don't like the grid because of the snap, but I do use it to try to size the tokens because it makes everything, a general size. But then after that, I just want to get rid of the grid and let you guys... The measurement tool still works either way, so...
And I mean, if you were really like it, you guys have to stay in your boxes, but at least then it's us putting ourselves in boxes as opposed to like the game be like, nope, you're here, not here.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can go wherever you want to go. If you're OCD and you need to stay inside the box, feel free. But
no, that's all I have to say about that is no. I had a plan, but he got all up in my grill. So now my plan is just to take my 5-foot step and attack him.
Yeah, go for it.
21 to hit.
That hits. Oh, Belak, we hardly knew you.
12 damage.
Yeah, he only had 3 hit points left. And
oh, shit.
So Belak is no longer with us.
Perfect.
That doesn't change the condition of Sir Brayford, unfortunately.
All right.
So you have bonus action and movement left.
I got a lot of movement if I use my boost, but I think I can get close to Sir Bradford without that.
Give him somebody else to focus on.
Yeah. So a squishy player is not the one he sees. Gonna run up on him and be like right behind him, like, "Are you done, sucker?"
All right.
I yell, "Oh, you done, sucker!" I don't think I have anything that I can do as a bonus action. I don't need the dash.
No,
or
I think you're good. So
unless, well, let me see something here. If I have enough movement for what I want to do, what's his weapon?
He's using a longsword and a shield. He's sword and board.
Okay, I can actually do that. I will use my dash to get between them.
Okay.
So I'm going to go like over here, and then I'll take the attack of opportunity to get to there.
There's no attack of opportunity because you're not leaving combat.
Oh, right. I'm just moving into his space like, excuse you.
Right, and the new rules, you can... I say new rules. The UA rules with enemy locations. You can move... More or less, you can move through their space. You're shouldering through their space. That still doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity. You just can't stop in their space.
It's difficult terrain because it's hostile territory, and they wouldn't want you to be moving freely.
Which is the only benefit that halflings now have is that it's not treated as difficult terrain. But yeah, you have way more than enough movement to do that. So, Empa King, what would you like to do?
Well, because he killed the guy my hex was on, I can now use my bonus action to move hex to Sir Bradley.
Yes.
And then, except for everyone moving through my line of fire, I'll move over here so I have a line of fire. 2 more people got in my line of sight. And then I'll blasty blast him.
All right.
Well, my defense, he wasn't in your line of fire.
An 18 hit him.
I think it probably does. Yes, it does.
Yay for 18s. Plus, well, that sucks. Well, 14 whole points.
So your finger guns blow a hole a fist-sized hole right through Sir Brayford's chest, and he crumples and goes down.
Well, I push him 10 feet, so he flies against the wall and
Flies.
got hit with a shotgun in a Hollywood style, and then okay.
Yes. So, you guys have won the day.
Dang, I really wanted to splash that nasty potion in that guy's face who experimented on the rats, but you guys murdered him really quick, so.
You could still go do that.
Well,
It's
no,
dead.
it's not. There's no vengeance in it now. I don't know. It's okay. I still have a gross potion that causes blight tumors or something.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was
I
going to
might
splash it in his
leave
face, but everyone came and saved me. So it's restored my hope in young people in this new generation.
Us millennials are good people.
All dead bodies.
Alright.
Are we
No,
planning
no.
on? Are we planning on any more fights for the day, or do we need to gather around and I do some healing?
So you can go ahead and gather around and do some healing.
Please.
Let's start with Edith. Sounds like she's pretty bad.
Yeah, I got 5 hit points.
All right, let's do a heal kit on you. You're running a D6, correct?
Yeah.
Let's see, that's 4.
Cool.
And then I'll also use my last spell slot to give you a Cure Wounds. Where's my Cure Wounds? 6 plus... another 9 points.
Wow, I'm all better. Thank you so much.
Who's next? How bad are you hurt, Bug?
I'm down 4.
I'll give you a heal kit. You're a D8, correct, or a D10?
I have a D8 and a D5? 6?
You can't be a D5. That's weird.
It's a D6 minus 1. Don't roll a 1.
That's going to be 8 points for you, so you're full.
Okay.
Impa King, how bad are you hurt?
Not at all.
All right, then we are good.
I've got this hangnail. Can you do something about
I get a mini petty.
it? So,
That would be very much in Impa King's mentality. I could use a back rub.
yeah, I'm a little tight in my shoulder. So,
Sparkle's a little short. Best she can do is give you a butt rub.
I'm for that.
So Belak had, of course, some loot on him. 3 potions of healing. That's the 2d4 plus 2 type.
Okay.
2 doses of antitoxin.
Okay.
And a wand of entangle.
Oh, really?
Wand of Entangle has 7 charges. It is a DC 15 spell save.
That and Edith taken. I think you're the right source for that.
That's what I want that if nobody else does. Absolutely.
And it regains 1d6 plus 1 charges daily at dawn. If you use the wand, if you expend the wand's last charge, you roll a d20. On a 1, the wand will turn to ash.
And it was DC 15 what save for them?
It's a DC 15 spell save for the Entangle spell.
Oh, okay, spell save. All right, cool. Yes, I will take that, and I need to attune to it later, right? Yeah.
I don't even think it requires attunement.
For real? That's so cool. Yay!
Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure that, I mean, it's just a stick that does, you know.
It's just an entangled stick.
Yeah, you can have multiple wands. There's no attunement. It's all about charges.
Heck yes.
Yeah. No, this works pretty much like it's similar to a wand of magic missile. It's a wand. It's considered uncommon, but it doesn't require attunement or anything.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do attunement still. It's more of like a legendary wand or wondrous.
Like wand of lightning, wand of fireball, those kinds generally. But like lower level spells like entangle, which or web, they don't generally require attunement. And of course, Sir Brayford and Sharwin Hucriel, who were two of the people you were trying to find, they have the required. Sir Brayford has an insignia that you can take back, probably on his shield. And Sharwin Hucriel has a signet ring that will prove that you found her, and it would be suitable for your purposes of proving that she didn't make it. In addition,
not have any magic or loot, just the insignia for proof.
Yeah, no, she actually though. She does have a spell book. So in her spell book are the cantrips Light, Prestidigitation, and Ray of Frost. And it has first level spell slots, Color Spray, Magic Missile, Shield, and Sleep.
Okay.
Aside from that, it also has Detect Magic and Silent Image.
Okay.
On Sir Brayford, his longsword is kind of fancy.
Noted as fancy.
Yes, his longsword is actually a named weapon. It is named Shatterspike, and it is a +1 longsword.
It's just +1, and they named it. I mean,
it says see the.
No, it's not.
See Appendix B for other I'm in Appendix B.
Oh, I know about Shatterspike.
Yeah, no, there's more to it than that. Yeah,
Sunder all.
Did they keep Sunder in 5th? I mean,
Good question.
Yeah, if it hits an object, the hit is automatically a critical hit, and it can deal bludgeoning or slashing damage to the object of your choice.
Oh, that's
further,
what they did.
Damage from non-magical sources cannot harm this weapon. Well, no shit, it's a magic weapon. So yeah, it is. Yeah, it's neutered in 5th edition, but yeah, Shatterspike, if you use it on a door or a chest or whatever, it automatically does critical damage. So it'll do double the amount of damage.
Who wants that?
It's a D8, right?
Yep.
A D8 or a D10 if you're wielding it two-handed, because every longsword is a bastard sword in 5th edition.
I'm good. I like my rapier and bow set.
Yeah, for sparkles, it would be a great sword.
Breaking stuff, I don't think I need it. But if you want me to use it as I'll bust stuff open. So all of its perks only apply really to breaking things. No battle perks.
Nope. It's just a +1 to hit or damage. Other than that, the sundering part only applies to objects.
You can be our lockpick.
I'm trying to remember what's the name of the character that's not here today? Not Carrie's character, but the other guy.
Oh, Took?
Oh, he would love the shit out of that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's mostly gone polearm master.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Funny. Bud can use the longsword like a polearm.
I know, right? He's got 10 feet reach, whether it's a maul or whatever.
I think you should take it and find uses for it.
Yeah,
Can I
it's come in
armor?
handy, I think.
Can it what?
Is attacking armor a thing?
Yeah. I mean, yes, it should, but Sunder has been removed, which is unfortunate.
Attacking a held or worn object is different than attacking the person, so
Right.
There's a mechanic there. I'm just not. It's like trip. It's not easy to do, and it's rarely combat advantageous, but you might find a place where you want it to fit because you've got that you can do now. So read up on attacking a held object.
Right.
All right, I'll add that. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they got rid of the Sunder mechanics because, I mean, that was a great mechanic for 3rd edition. It actually showed that armor or shields, for instance, actually do take damage. I mean, you can't just use a shield forever to block to parry hits, you know.
I think it was a little like the disarm mechanic because you could just walk around disarming every one of their legendary weapons.
Right. or like the current mechanic in Baldur's Gate 3 where you don't have to actually get into a fight with anybody, just push everyone you run into off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
You can push everybody off of a ledge and kill them, and you never have to draw your weapon.
That works in real life, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, technically.
Yeah, I still don't like in 5th edition that there's only one shield available at all.
Right, yeah, they removed all the different shield types. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's a buckler or a tower shield, it's always +2. I mean, yeah, their simplification of the game. I see why they did it, but some of the simplifications that they made, if I were to simplify things, I would have gone in other areas rather than where they went with them. You know what I mean?
I mean, I could see reducing the number because in 3.5 there's like 20 different shields. Give me 3 options. I'll be happy with 3: a wood, a metal, and a tower. I'm good.
Right. Yeah. And a buckler should only be a +1 to your AC. I'm sorry. Bucklers are.
A buckler's basically the lid off a barrel.
Yeah. Right.
It's like a spear has versatile and thrown. That's fine, but it should also have reach. But that would make it OP.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because God knows you got to make everything in D&D, balanced. It's like a game
the spear's actually worse at 5 feet than at 10.
Right. Right. That kind of eliminates the point of having a spear.
Yeah.
So, you guys have what is necessary to complete your quests, and you return back to. You climb your way back up out of the well. When you get to the shaft, there is a rope, and you can ring the bell. And for 1 gold piece each, they will, Durnan in the yawning portal lowers down the winched seat.
Well, before we go, do you guys want to burn this tree down? Or
Yeah. I mean,
this tree or something?
you can get your apples, and then what do you want to do about the Gulthias tree? That's a good
I
question.
mean, do we want to destroy the tree? That whole heal everything once a year thing.
Well, I mean, it was formed by staking a vampire and leaving him there, and the stake took root. So, I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that.
I prefer that. I mean, it's an unholy thing. It must be destroyed. That's probably what my character would say.
I think we should just leave a note so anyone who goes by it knows.
Yeah, tack it to
Out
the
of our
tree.
yard.
I'm getting ready to walk over to the tree and use burning hands on this mug. I'm like, we're torching it.
Here, I'll just tack this wooden sign using a copper nail to this undead tree.
Chair, way too comfy. Do not sit.
Right.
How many apples do we get, though? I love these apples.
So, right now, due to this time of year, the apples that are being produced are turning from that super perfect red apple, and they're turning pale. And you know that as fall comes on and it changes to winter, that apple's going to turn to a deathly white. You can get off of this tree.
You know what we should do? We should get like 6 red and 6 white and make people bob for apples blindfolded.
That could be something.
Sure.
That could be something that you could offer in the tavern. So you're able to get 2 apples, and they classify still right now because it is early fall. They still classify as the red.
Does the apple itself change after the season, or only when it's on the tree?
Only when it's on the tree.
So if we get it now, it's red. If it doesn't change to something else.
No. If you pick it now, it's red, and each apple is good for 4 slices that will produce the effects of a long rest and removing any disease or condition or poison. I mean, it cures everything.
Question, because future campaign, cures any condition. What about petrification?
No, and the reason that it wouldn't cure petrification is because you wouldn't be able to eat it.
That would be my guess as well. I wanted to understand the logic there, because that would be my thought. You can't ingest anything while you're petrified.
Right. Somebody could jam it in there.
You could jam it anywhere. I mean, technically.
We can make shea butter out of it.
Yes, we're gonna. This apple slice is a suppository. Hold on.
Turn it into applesauce first and get a funnel.
Yeah. Will it blend?
Yes. So you're able to get 2 of these apples, which can be produced to 8 of these doses of pure cure. And so, you get back up out of the Sunless Citadel. The kobolds on your way out, in Meepo especially, thank you profusely for your assistance, and they are friendly towards the party. You guys have a friend in Meepo. You got him his dragon back. And so you guys have to pay 1 gold piece each, and you are lifted up out of the out of the well into the yawning portal. Let me just do that. So the question then, of course, is, has everybody picked a faction that you want to join?
I'm going with the Harpers.
Okay. So you
said one that I want, but I forgot the name of it.
So Edith can put down on her character sheet that she's a member of the Harpers, and you have Renown 2. Bug, you had... I think the most obvious choice for Bug was the Order of the Gauntlet.
That sounds right. That was like the Guardian kind of people, right?
Yeah, they're mostly paladins and fighters, mostly following Tyre and I forget the other god, but yeah, they are an order, a knighthood, and so you could join Order of the Gauntlet at Renown 2.
Sweet.
Sparkles joined, was looking at the Emerald Enclave. That's who she was talking to.
Yeah. So here's the thing with the Emerald Enclave. So you guys fill the Emerald Enclave in with the information that you found out about where these apples are coming from. They're fine with you keeping the apples. They would like to have one of the apples. What was your end result? Bug, did you burn that tree down?
I mean, if the party said it was fine, then yeah.
I like fire.
I wouldn't stop him.
Sparkles wouldn't have stopped him. She
Okay.
wouldn't have started, but she's like, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Okay, so Bug burned the tree down. So the Emerald Enclave, they're not going to outwardly ask you to give them one of the apples. They would like to have one of the apples. But now they see, that they understand that the seeds from these, it's not like they can plant these and grow their own tree. And so they have gone to work putting some of the seeds that they have planted, the brambles that grow from them, they have put to the torch. And it's up to you, but Sparkles, you can join the Emerald Enclave with Renown 2.
I was already Lord's Alliance Renown 2.
Okay, perfect. And so, then the question, of course, is you guys need to tally up what is. I assume that any material objects that you're not going to want to keep, you're going to want to sell for the gold piece value. And you need to tally up how much you made on this little junket.
We can't forget to cut in Gabe, too.
Well, there's that, but don't forget that it is actually...
Oh, that's right. We got to repair the building.
Right, so you're actually looking at... So you're looking at 1,250 gold up front to really get things rolling on the manor. So 1,000 gold pieces to renovate the tavern over the next 12 days, and 250 gold pieces for licenses and contracts with the various guilds, of course, paid up front.
How much did we get for this thing?
For nothing. You got added to the various
Okay.
to the various enclaves and whatnot.
Yeah, basically our loot, sell our loot, that's what we got.
Right.
You guys, some of those things in Draconic, though, should we try and have someone tell us what they say before we sell them?
We also have some things in Dwarvish.
Yeah, if they matter. Like, I'm not that curious, but just, like, if they happen to be something that matters, what it says.
So, the stuff in Draconic, it all refers to a great red dragon, and his name was Ashardalon. So it seems that the Sunless Citadel at some point in the far distant past, was actually a cult of the dragon that was worshipping Ashardalon. And what little information you pick up about Ashardalon is that, as far as red dragons go, this guy was kind of a pain in the butt. In a lot of ways, he makes Clouth look like a Nancy. Ashardalon decided that he wanted to rise to godhood, and the way that he chose to do that, if I remember correctly, is he underwent a ritual that replaced his heart with an actual Balor, pit fiend. And so he is no longer really on the material plane. He's off doing dragon godly type stuff. He's more like a demigod. He's not. I wouldn't say that he is on the same level as Tiamat, but he's a bad dude. You probably don't want to piss him off. But it doesn't.
Side quest there.
Right? Yeah. According to what you are seeing, though, it doesn't seem like, as far as the dragon worshipping aspect of the dungeon you were just in, it doesn't seem like there were any Ashardalon worshippers in like the last 1,200 years. So you're probably okay. The dwarven stuff dates back much older than that, and the Sunless Citadel, it basically says that it was a part of the Delzoun Empire that the dwarves had many, many moons ago, and that it makes references to a dwarven... it makes references to Dwarven Forge. Yes, it makes references to a forge. At first, when you're reading it, it's very cryptic, and it sounds like that this forge, it may be, referencing Gauntlgrim, but it is not Gauntlgrim. This is a much smaller forge, and it is on the coastline north of Waterdeep. But it's never been found.
Now, part of that was a map in the scroll case.
Right. That's how you know roughly where this forge is supposed to be located.
So on party loot, Empa King
you guys
will clarify
that up. I will be right back.
Okay. I have not only been taking notes of it, I have been storing it. So I'm like a bank, but better than a bank, because no one knows where it is except me. So once a day, under some constraints, I can take notes and make withdrawals and bring you whatever you want from the storage. We have collectively 884 silver pieces, 465 gold pieces, an earlier spell book, some other scrolls, some miscellaneous thrown weapons, some spare armor, and then there's a bunch of figurines and rings and a couple amulets. Another, 40, 90, 110, 25, 135. 145, another 145 GP in jewelry. And 60.
Times your lunch over.
75. 60. 100. And another 295 in gems.
Do they know you're taking a long lunch? Okay.
And then backpacks, torches, the kind of just all the arrows and stuff that we've collected from people I have an inventory of.
There's nothing Sparkles can think of that has been brought through the loot that she'd want. She's fine with selling everything to pay off the house.
I need to make 100 gold pieces so I can copy 2 of the scrolls into my spells, so I have more stuff I can do. So I want to sell things.
I think the only thing Sparkles needs to do is maybe take a little bit of cash, like maybe 10 gold, to resupply the healer's kits.
So 100 GP. Yes.
I'm gonna look up how much the healer kits are right now. I don't remember them being cheap.
Healing kit inventory is important. There's no doubt those things should be done. Now, Edith, I have a spell book and some scrolls from earlier. I'm not sure if you noted that, but one had Burning Hands, Disguise Self, False Life, Shield, Unseen Servant, and Witch Bolt. You may already have that in your inventory. I just hadn't noted yet that you possess it.
Yeah, I have them written down. They're crossed out until I can afford them.
A spell scroll of Command.
Yeah. And I have 2nd level Cure Wounds, 2nd level Inflict Wounds, 2nd level Guiding Bolt, Expeditious Retreat. Yep.
Got
Okay.
that. Okay, so just didn't have your name attached to them yet. Do you have a use for the command scroll or leave it in inventory?
I mean, I'm sure I could come up with a use for it eventually. Do you want it real bad?
No, I
Like-
just wanted names attached to who's going to possess it since things are or are not in my storage.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll have all the scrolls in my room.
Okay. That doesn't mean you need to be a walking library. You could still access things periodically, just whether you want it to be in backpack and keep track of it until you redeposit.
For 10 gold, I can get us 20 more usage of Healer's Kit, which would take us to 37 total.
Absolutely throwing some gold into that.
Well, this is all from the party total. We got to sell gems. There'll be a loss on that. So that's 110. Bug, do you have replenishments from party levels or using personal cash or what? I'm making notes so we get it all out at the same time.
I don't need to replenish anything right now.
Okay.
I have no gear that got used to my knowledge.
One thing that will help us. One thing that will help us, soon as we get our 3rd level, I'll be able to take Twilight Sanctuary, and every round I'll be able to give everybody 10 hit points. So that's going to reduce some of our heal requirements. So that's going to help a lot on their next leg of adventure.
The med kits are far more economical than potions. We could buy dozens.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying I'll be able to read every turn. I'll be able to give everybody like 5-10 hit points on every turn.
Okay, so subtracted that 110 GP from the total. Chris, we have 145 in jewelry, unless someone wants to wear earrings, an amulet, necklace.
I mean, who wouldn't, right?
Does a gold ring with the name Cockroach have anything important? Do we need to deliver that for reward or just curiosity?
That was delivered as part of joining the various factions.
So we don't possess that anymore?
No.
Okay, 135 in jewelry then. Do we have a sales price? I could go cast Hex on the merchant and do a persuasion check to get better prices.
Well, yeah, you're really not going to be able to get better prices. The bulk of this is really paying off the various guilds, so it's not something that can be negotiated or haggled.
No, I mean, when we go sell the jewelry, do we get it cut in half? Do we get retail? What do we get?
You can make a persuasion check.
Can I use my failed merchant connections?
You can.
At all?
And that
Okay.
that would give you a boon. Sorry, too much traveler. That would give you advantage on the roll.
And can I cast Hex on the merchant and give them disadvantage?
I don't see why not.
And this is how you sell ketchup to a woman in white gloves.
And white pants after Labor Day.
So Cameron can make a persuasion check with advantage.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he was making the check. My bad.
No, I'm casting Hex on the merchant, so they're at disadvantage in comparison.
Okay. I am proficient in persuade, so that just helps them.
A proficient persuader.
I have a +7, but not advantage.
Soft 20.
Oh yeah. So and with disadvantage in trying to haggle with you, they got a 4. So you are able to sell the jewelry for 10% above its face value.
Okay. 148. Okay, got that noted. And the gems, same process. 295 worth of gems.
Okay, so Cameron can go ahead and make another persuasion check with advantage. Wow. These merchants, he got a 10 this time.
16, yeah.
Okay, and so you can sell the gems for 10% above their face value.
Okay, 324. Do we want to sell the splint armor with the Tal'Dorei family crest and the studded leather armor?
I think everybody was willing to sell everything, unless somebody wanted studded leather armor.
Final answer.
There is an attic bedroom. I mean, you know, you might leave the studded leather armor up there for special occasions.
I don't wear armor. I don't need it in my bedroom.
Do I roll again? Is that my deal?
Yeah. I mean, you can, or you can just sell it for face value.
Nat 20.
Ooh, Nat 20. You can sell that for, we'll say 20% above market value. The family crest is really going to push the sale price up.
So that netted 54 GP.
Sweet. I hope people are fixing shit at the house while
I mean, I didn't add everything up, but I would swear that you guys have 1250 in gold out of that dungeon. It seems like they were dropping piles on you every time you turned a corner.
It was 5 and 10s here and silver pieces. I haven't converted, but I think I noted close to everything. But let me tally up what's raw change right now.
I've run this dungeon so many times, I didn't actually read through and tally up, you know, how much gold. It wasn't my intent that you do one dungeon and go, hey, we got enough money to pay off the renovations for the house.
I show 881 GP and 884 SP right now. And that's just loot stuff. I don't know anybody's personal inventory. I don't know anybody's personal cash holdings.
So there's 10 silver to 1 gold.
It'll be 88 gold after that.
So we're kind of close, but not quite there.
Not quite there.
So, may I have 50 of the gold pieces to learn a spell?
I already marked off the 100. You were going to do 2 scrolls, weren't you?
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that was marked off. Okay.
So, Cameron, Edith is a member of the Harpers. There is, of course, another option, and one of the members of the Harpers, your contact in the Harpers, as a matter of fact, is Mert the Moneylender. You could always go take out a loan.
How much interest is on that loan? Is it 0 because I'm a Harper, or?
No, Mert's smarter than that, but Mert is going to be, generous because you're a Harper. And you, of course, took on this mission to see what was going on down in the Sunless Citadel. And so Mert will give you guys a 3% interest rate.
For how much time? Like a month or 10 day or what?
Well, it would be over the course of a year. It depends. I mean, it depends on how much money are you wanting to borrow.
Just 100. I just want to pay for my scrolls and not take it out of everybody's money.
Well, I mean, if you're going to take a loan, you could take out the entire 1250, or 500, and pay for the renovations to the Trollskull Manor. I
am going to ask the party if they feel like that's wise. I kind of messed up my first business, so I don't feel super confident to say.
Let's see. Gold, platinum, no. While most noble families take out extraordinary debt to make themselves feel important, my history is that our family had to come back from almost nothing, so debt's not something we use to achieve our goals. So Emperor King's not a big fan of taking on a burden to solve a burden.
So Ember King says no. What about Sparkles?
Well, something to keep in mind, though, is that you wouldn't necessarily be taking on a burden. The renovation of Trollskull Manor, you're essentially opening up your own tavern in the North Ward. And there's only one other tavern in the North Ward, and to be honest, from what you've seen, it's not that great. So the manor, if it is fixed up, could be a potentially great investment that will turn around and not only pay off the loan, but and pay for itself, but drop extra money into your coffers. Like literally every 10 day. Depending on, how much advertising and, business promotion you do, but you could end up with a pretty happening place. You could put in a brass pole in the middle of the tap room and hire some tieflings. Everybody likes tieflings.
Sparkles is always down for buying a bar.
All right.
We'll call it puzzles.
You could host Saturday night fights.
You could, yes.
So, Bug, do you want to vote yes then?
You open up a tavern?
So take out a 3% loan to renovate so we can open it up.
I mean, I'm sure we can pay back 3% eventually.
Alrighty. Looks like it's happening. It is done.
Okay. So then the question is, how much of a loan are you taking out? The full amount? Or do you want to use some of the money that you currently have available? How much out of the $1,250 are you going to take out? In addition, of course, the other thing to keep in mind is that there are regular expenses. 50 gold pieces every 10 day for maintenance and wages of any hirelings. Because, you're going to need bar staff. You guys are going to be busy adventuring. And there will be 10 gold pieces per 10 day for other guild expenses. Everything in Waterdeep is run by guilds. Who delivers your food, who delivers your firewood, who delivers your kegs.
So as you go up in renown, that price might drop?
Possibly.
With all of us having a stake in the guilds, that price should go down eventually. This is just we're like the Switzerland of the bars. Everybody comes to our spot for a good time. Everybody has a stake in us doing well.
Right. This is the potential for Trollskull Manor. Like I said, it could go one or two directions. Depending on how you treat Trollskull Manor, it could be a money pit, or it could be the money tree.
So, it seems wise to me, put, I don't know, what would, 20% of it be?
What's the total cost again?
Total cost to get it up and running is $1,250. But then there's every 10 day there is 50 gold pieces, or a total of 60 gold pieces in other guild expenses and maintenance and hireling costs.
And we have about 800 gold, and if we paid 20% down, it'd be 250. That seems.
We have 966.
But what do you guys think of paying 20% down?
We could do 20%. Well, I guess a lot of it depends on how long we're going to be out murder hoboing, because that's going to determine the time we get back with how much fresh loot we have to put in to reinvest.
They said we got a year.
when Mertz tells Edith, that the terms of the loan is a year, he kind of winks and nudges her, like, if it's not paid off in a year, Mert's not going to come and break your legs. He's not the Xanathar Guild, and he's certainly not the Black Network. So, you're borrowing money from an accredited title agent. He's not, and you're friends with him. So
we're not borrowing money from B of A?
Right, you're not borrowing from Bank of America.
Well, my train of thought wasn't so much the loan in of itself, but how long we're going to be gone versus the weekly expenses build up.
Right, and that will. So that
because if we're going to be gone for like say 2 months at a shot, we're going to need to throw down a fat chunk of change before we even leave.
Possibly, but like I said, the tavern itself can generate its own money.
And we can hire a manager that can like access a safe or whatever and get money out if necessary. That kind of shit. We can leave some here.
You may already have one.
Oh yeah.
So
I volunteer Carrie's character. Oh.
So as you are kind of discussing this, I would imagine you guys are sitting in your tap room with Mert, and you're discussing how you want to go about this. Remember that Trollskull Manor is haunted, and it is haunted by a poltergeist. But over the course of this conversation, the haunting activity that mostly, involved things getting knocked off shelves, bar stools being tipped over, writing things in the dust that says like "get out" or "I'm going to murder you" kind of things.
I thought that was just Edith's cats.
Right? That behavior has changed. Now you are seeing that, not that there is a whole lot, but what little ale is left in here, which was brought in by the previous owner, Volo. He had a couple of kegs brought in. Now the poltergeist is delivering mugs of ale to your table, and Mert thinks that's pretty neat. Mert
we
thinks
can
that
totally
that's a
have
selling
a
point.
How does the waitress get tips though?
Free labor.
It's a good time to open a ghost theme bar.
I will allow anybody who wants to make it a history check.
It's always Halloween at puzzles.
I don't know nothing about this place. I only got a 10.
I got a 15.
Ooh.
Let's see. I got a +2. Let's see. I got a 16.
So, Sparkles and Edith, you learn a little bit of history about this place, and evidently the owner before Volo was an individual named Lif. He was an elf, or I'm sorry, a half elf named Lif, and Lif loved this tavern. He loved Trollskull Manor, and it is everybody's suspicion that the poltergeist that haunts the Trollskull Manor is Lif. And knowing that he loved this place so much, his assumption, of course, when you came in, was that you were either going to simply use the place as a base of operations, for yet another illegal hideout for ruffians, or that you were thinking of tearing the place down, et cetera, all bad things in his eyes. But now that he realizes that you are talking about taking out a loan with Mert the moneylender in order to renovate and reopen the tavern, Lif is much more amenable to that. And so he is starting to warm up to you guys.
Because we're not just squatting, we're actually going to revive it to its previous glory.
Exactly. That is exactly right.
I hold up my mug and say, "For glory and money."
I will start work on a plaque for the front door that says, "All who enter shall greet Liff."
Okay. Okay.
Make him the norm of the bar.
And so then, of course, here is Liff.
We should name the bar Liff's Legacy.
I'm good with that.
That works.
So then so you want to borrow 20% of the 1250? Is that?
No, we're gonna pay 20%. We're gonna
Oh,
borrow
you're gonna put 20% down. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
To make interest less.
So what does that make the total borrowed amount?
100.
Let me see. 1,000 then, because it's 250 is down. Is the 20% down? So.
Okay. So yeah, he will loan you the 1,000, and
that leaves us with like 600-700 gold in our pockets.
716. I'm the banker, but other people be the accountant.
So every month, so every 10 days, you will be expected to come up with a payment of 86 gold pieces to pay off this loan.
Okay.
All right. All right.
So
maybe we should leave half of our money here in case we're not around.
So we're dropping 250. We had how much?
9 something.
We had 966. We have 716 left in my bank.
So essentially, every 10 days, you would be expected to come up with a total, and this covers all of your operating expenses, guild expenses, etc., plus your payment to the loan of 156 gold pieces.
Well, that 716, do you guys want to divide it up between the 5 of us? Or are we just leaving it in the party kitty for now?
I feel like we should always have like one extra portion set away for the tavern. So it's like 6 cuts instead of 5 cuts.
That I was just gonna say that's what the pirates in our Wednesday night game do. Instead of taking 6 shares, they take 7, and that 7th share is their ship fund. It just sits there and builds up.
That sounds sensible to me.
So if you each are carrying all your gold on your persons, and we get rolled in the street, or we get taken hostage by a big bad, then potentially whatever you have on your person is at risk. That's what makes a bank better. No one rolls the bank.
That's fair.
So it's not that I'm against it. I'm just laying out the consequences. If everyone takes their whole share and carries it around, you're accepting the risk of that.
So as the bank, then, are you going to keep track of like how much of each share goes to each person?
I will take your shares in, yes. And then you can withdraw your shares once a day with planning, because that's how often I can access it.
Sounds good to me.
Well, I imagine we're only going to access it when we're in town to resupply loot or resupply weapons or upgrades.
I mean, I will say you probably want to keep some gold on you, but
sure.
There's a big difference between walking around with a pouch that has 50 gold in it versus walking around with a bag that has 890 gold in it.
Yeah,
I do a little jump up and down to listen to me jingle, and nothing jingles because all the stuff we just sold wasn't on my person.
Yeah, I think I got 16 gold on sparkles, and that's fine for walking around cash.
I got 17. I'm cool with that.
I have nothing. So
that's like a year's wages for poor people.
So 716 remaining divided by 6 is 120 per, with some rounding. Divided by 6 for the tavern kitty.
What, don't we need 7 for Took? Or am I wrong?
No, the Took is part of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the 5th member. So the 6th share would go into investment.
I don't know, I counted wrong. Go on, you said 120? Is that right?
120 per person. That's to the tavern as well.
Okay.
This game's not about dragons. This is math.
So I'm going to carry 20 and put 100 in the bank. Cool?
Okay.
All right.
I already have 18 on me, so I'll just put the rest of my 120 in the bank.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So Sparkles will put 120 in bank. And we're going to presume Took puts 120 in the bank.
Okay. Now, out of the 20 gold that everybody's keeping on them, you're probably going to want to remove, say, 5 gold pieces to replenish rations, torches, arrows and bolts, and of course the ever important spell components.
We also at the beginning of the math, I think when you walked away, we pulled out 10 gold right off the top to resupply the healer's kits.
That's already accounted for from the other calculations.
Okay.
Yeah, just letting Chris know we did that.
Cool. So yeah, out of the 20, each individual will probably spend close to 5 gold replenishing, like I said, rations in your pack. You know, you were down in the Sunless Citadel for probably about 3 or 4 days.
Which would drop Sparkle's walking around cash to 11 gold and some copper and silver, which is fine. She don't use that much money. She's used to being roughing it.
We looted 87 arrows from various places, so anyone who's using ammunition could remove from that stock.
Which would be Sparkles. She's all about that range.
So how much do you want to take from the 87?
I'll take 40. That sounds like a good number.
Okay. Anybody want to carry spears or javelins, caltrops or daggers?
I'll carry just for the sake of having them for the party. Because I'm like a workhorse player.
Yeah, I know Bug's probably going to want javelins.
You want all the spears, javelins, caltrops, and daggers, or just javelins?
Don't need the daggers. I'll take the javelins.
Okay. 6 is what we looted.
Okay.
Remember, if everybody takes a dagger, unless you're using a 2-handed weapon, that gives you a weapon that you can use in your offhand for bonus actions.
2-handed weapon user.
Unless you're using Shatter Spike.
Sparkles hopes not to be that close.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, Shatter Spike's a very situational weapon, and I still haven't figured out how the whole breaking stuff is going to work.
Usually, like, let's say it's a door. Usually a door is going to have, like, an AC of 10. And, like, most doors are going to have a minimum of 20 hit points. So any damage that on a hit, any damage that you do with Shatter Spike, you can choose to either do slashing damage or bludgeoning. And all damage to that door will be doubled because it is a crit.
But then it's like I'd probably want to go with the 2-handed wield anyway to get his max damage.
Right.
So I wouldn't be using a dagger in my hand anyway. And I'm only using it when I'm attacking objects, not people. So
that's a good point.
Here's Johnny.
Now, what's the difference between a spear and a javelin? You guys were talking about that before, and I was like, I don't understand what you said.
That's a really good question.
I don't
like
think
if they're inside of 5 feet,
javelin has a held.
I'm going to step away for just a moment to go gun to smoke. I'll be right back.
Okay. So,
Javelin's only thrown. A spear is held and thrown and versatile 2-handed.
Wow.
Well, actually, though.
I'll be right back and get cider.
Okay.
But the javelin has way better range. Okay, I see the difference here.
Yeah, it's going to have better range. It's not quite as big as a spear. But essentially, a javelin can be used as a spear. I mean, there's really no reason that you can't make an attack with a javelin, melee attack. But the reality is that that's really going to be more of like an improvised weapon attack.
With the javelin?
Yeah, it's
So
pretty much designed to be thrown.
So that would make it a D4 for if I use it as a handheld weapon?
Right.
Well, essentially, that would become my dagger.
Yeah, exactly.
Has everybody seen The Professional? That movie with the killer in it?
Yeah.
So my inspiration is his friend that runs the Italian restaurant. I keep your money. It's your money. But like a bank, I never get knocked over, so your money's safe.
I love that scene where he goes to count the money and everything, and he's just like, no, I trust you. Or he check the weapon. No, I trust you. But one has to do with the other. Check the weapon.
You check it. It's not about trust.
It's not about trust. So can we just say then, if ever I'm using a javelin, I'm holding one in my offhand to switch over to my on hand at all times?
Well, I would assume that you probably have like some, for lack of a better word, it's a quiver. But there's a quiver with javelins on your back.
Well, I know. But what I'm saying is then, if I ever get someone in close range while I'm holding a javelin, I have a javelin in my offhand ready so I can like do like a quick draw thing. I'm always grabbing javelin.
I mean that would be a safe assumption. Yeah, if you're going ranged with javelins, there's really no reason that you wouldn't have a spare one in your offhand.
Cool. So then, if I ever have to do the improvised attack with it, I would get the bonus attack option as well.
Sure.
I just want to throw that out there. Like that's how I would do it. So it's like that bonus attack would be there because of that.
Sure, I would allow that.
Thank you. Don't want to have to like say that every battle. Like, but.
Right, yeah. But last game you said, yeah, no, I would allow that.
Appreciate that.
So you, over the next 12 days, you go about the process of paying the guilds, and renovation work starts to take place. You've got masons showing up to work on the stonework. You've got construction guys building scaffolds around. You've got roofers fixing the shingles. A flurry of activity is cropping up. And you meet a number of the guild people. Like, for instance, you've already met Broxley Fairkettle, who is the halfling. He's a Strongheart halfling who is of the Fellowship of Innkeepers. And he welcomes you to the guild and looks forward to doing future business with you. You meet Hammond Cradog, who is a Luskan human. It's clear when you meet him, he's part of the Vintners, Distillers, and Brewers Guild. He doesn't really much care for adventurer types, but he likes your money. And so he's perfectly happy to do business with you. You also meet Justin Rask, who's with the Guild of Butchers. He is a dead-eyed, slack-jawed Aluskan male who's kind of a jerk. Well, no, he's just pretty much a dick all the time. He kind of expects every time he drops off meat for your larder, he expects a three gold piece gratuity. If it's not paid, he mentions things like, well, maybe next time the meat will be someone you know. And you meet Ulcoria Stonemarrow, who is of the Watchful Order of Magus and Protectors. And she informs Edith that being a wizard in Waterdeep, it is the law that you be a part of the Watchful Order of Magus and Protectors. And you are given where is it? Let me find it. probably help if I could remember what the name of this was that I'm looking for. Yada. Yeah, that's what its name is. Interesting. Did I not? Oh, no, it's right here. They give you a copy of the Code Legal of Waterdeep. And this is basically telling you what all of the crimes and punishments are for the various crimes in Waterdeep. And like I said, it is a requirement. So for Edith, every 10 day, an additional guild fee of 10 gold pieces is required to be in the watchful order of mages and protectors.
Like
Wait,
living in a
wait.
mob city.
What are they gonna do if I don't join? I don't understand that.
You will be basically you will be banned from practicing magic inside the city walls and exiled from the city.
That's lame. But so, aren't there some poor wizards? Isn't there any like?
So she laughs. Alcoria laughs and says, "Oh, how darn! There's no such thing as a poor wizard."
This is like a scam. Am I being scammed? Are they taking advantage of my senility?
It's not a scam.
I say I'll discount on drinks at the bar in exchange.
You could probably get that. That would probably work with some of the other guilds, perhaps the Butchers Guild or the Stonemasons Guild. Probably not going to work so well with the Wizards Guild. If you were a library, that would probably work great for the Wizards Guild, but
Sparkles is willing to chip in on that fee. Oh, Sparkles will help Grandma Edith pay her bills.
That's it. I'm running for office. This is
Help her
bullshit.
manage your Social Security.
do they have a consumer cellular plan for elder wizards?
Gee.
Brian Reynolds, a spokesperson.
Yes.
All right, fine. Yeesh. Poisoning a city well. None of this even crossed my mind to do.
Yet.
Oh shit! Look at the last one on crimes against citizens.
Yep.
I think we've done that.
Yeah, you've already done that in your negotiations for selling your
Shit.
most
Didn't
recent
tell
loot.
him or you
Sign it
suggested.
yet. We
However,
didn't-
it's always getting caught doing that.
yeah, that's true.
You
And
still
actually,
roll double 20s.
Empa King is not in the guild. I am, and I didn't do it. So we found a loophole.
But these are still city laws, so you can't do this on a regular basis.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, we got away with it because we didn't know better, and nobody told on us. So
Well, the other one that I like is fencing stolen goods. As adventurers, isn't everything you sell technically stolen? I mean,
No. We simply acquired it once they no longer had use for it.
I mean, I guess
They died.
I guess the line between and this, it's funny. This goes for all of my games presently. The line between stolen and legitimate salvage is a very, very thin one.
No, it's very clear. They were dead first, then we took it.
It's only stolen if they can come to the police station and file a report. If they can't make it, it's not stolen.
Right.
Again, like the whole blackmailing and stuff, it's only blackmail if they report it.
I do like that if anyone assaults me, then I can go file a claim and they can be imprisoned.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can get imprisonment for up to a 10-day for brandishing weapons without due cause.
But I'm a noble, so anyone who assaults me or attempts to kill me is subject to penalty.
Yeah. So over the next 12 days, you are the tavern is in the process of getting renovated, and at the end of the 12 days, you are getting ready for essentially what your grand opening is going to be. All of you can take 3rd level.
Woo!
All of us are like, yeah.
I can finally do Twilight Sanctuary.
I can finally smite.
I can finally summon my invisible servant.
So this is a map of Trollskull Alley. T1 being your Trollskull Manor. And early in the morning, not like, early, like 8 or 9 bells in the morning, windows rattle as the roar of an explosion fills Trollskull Alley. Charred bodies and anguished screams fly through the air. A thick cloud of acrid smoke billows outward from the blast, which seems to have occurred right outside your front door. So this is how you are awoken the day before you plan to do your grand opening. There is a large explosion right about here on your front porch. And out the windows, you can see that there are numerous people that have been injured in this blast. But until you go to investigate, it will be impossible to know exactly who was injured or how badly. You'll have to go outside and start poking around and talking to people.
So do I roll like an investigate check or something?
You certainly can.
19.
Okay.
Wow, I rolled a net soft 20.
So your initial scan, there are a number of eyewitnesses standing about, clutching their pearls and hands over their face. You note it didn't set any buildings on fire, but it left 11 people dead. There was an elderly human woman. There were 2 cloaked males in black leather-clad armor with sheathed swords that were burned to a crisp. 2 female humans and 1 male half-elf dressed in plain clothes. 1 male gnome is wearing a burned cloak and clutching a dagger in his charred little fist. And 2 female halflings who were out front playing the flute and a fiddle. And 2 male halflings who were dancing in front of them were killed. And you can hear the whistles being blown down the street coming from the north entrance of the City Watch is coming to arrive. It didn't take them long to come on scene. As soon as the Watch arrives, they cordon off the alleyway, and the lead investigators, the City Watch Sergeant Seth Cromley, and he is escorting a member of the Watchful Order of Magus and Protectors named Barnabas Blastwind. And there are 20 constables that are going around knocking on doors, kind of canvassing the neighborhood, wanting to know what anybody saw in this particular situation. They all kind of, the constables all kind of warn you guys away. This is a crime scene. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand back. Allow Barnabas Blastwind and the Sergeant Cromley to do their work. And Blastwind and Cromley immediately go to basically check where Blastwind just makes a beeline for where this blast initiated, which, as I stated, it seems that it went off right on your doorstep. And the sergeant comes over to you guys, probably standing there in your long johns and nightcaps still, wants to know, the Sergeant Cromley wants to know if you saw anything. Does this have anything to do with your renovation of Trollskull Manor? Have you had any trouble or problems recently?
Shit, have we? Our meat guy's kind of rude. Can't really think anything.
Don't think our poltergeist would have attempted to blow up his favorite tavern.
We have one competing business that formerly had no competition, but I don't have any way to link them to this directly, so that's just, a thought. But not really.
So Sergeant Cromley says, well, we'll get this taken care of, and you have the City Watch's apologies that you had to deal with this the day before your opening, and he points out some blast damage on your front stoop. Basically, you'll have to get a hold of the guilds to repair that before you open. That could be dangerous for any patrons that come in. And there's still a ton of witnesses standing around, and you see Barnabas kind of looking over these bodies. And in particular, he seems to be paying attention to the gnome body, and he's kind of writing notes down in his book, and he's like, yes, that makes sense. And then he waves over some of the constables, and he tells them to take all of the bodies, of course, put sheets over them, and take them back to his to the watchtower, and he will conduct further investigations there. Did you guys want to question him? Do you want to question witnesses? It's entirely up to you.
Well, what's the deal with the gnome?
Make a... Edith, you can make a persuasion check with advantage.
Soft 20 special roll.
Ooh. So he kind of looks, and I actually think... I thought I had a picture. Well, this is a picture of the explosion. So it was quite large. And I thought I had a picture of Barnabas, but maybe not. So Barnabas is wearing spectacles, and he kind of, they're down on the tip of his nose, and he kind of looks over his spectacles at Edith, and he says, "Oh, fellow member of the Watchful Order." And he says, and he kind of points out, he says, "The gnome was running from armed pursuers, of which there were 3. The third person who was chasing the gnome isn't among the dead. The gnome and his pursuers were moving towards this tavern in Trollskull Alley, and And he says, neither the gnome or his pursuers saw the explosion coming. He says, aside from that, I'll have to do some more investigative work back at the watchtower. But I do plan to use Speak with Dead to try and get a bit more information out of these poor fellows.
All right, cool.
Is it possible to do an investigation or arcana to see if this was a alchemist explosion or a magical explosion?
You can use Arcana.
It's down the damn table. Oh, fuck you, guy. 13 plus 2, 15.
So you determine, you actually find something. You find.
That's a big explosion.
You find. So on the corner of your building, there is a barrel, a rain catcher, and on this, around this barrel, and in the barrel, you find a broken golden necklace. And laying on the ground, you find a small red bead. Now, your Arcana check tells you that this is the remains of a broken necklace of fireballs.
Should we turn it over to the investigator?
That's up to you.
I think we should.
That seems logical.
Yep.
Okay, so you turn that over to Barnabas, and he kind of looks at it and goes, interesting. Well, this explains where the explosion came from. It's strange that the necklace is broken, though. Perhaps this was really just an accident.
No.
Too coincidental to be an accident.
Yeah,
Is it
so,
like a rocket or is it plain or something? There's no other information besides it's broken.
Does this investigator actually want to find the truth?
Oh, yes. Barnabas Blastwind's actually a pretty good guy.
Okay.
Well, I'll start mending anything that's possible to mend while we get some people to fix all the stuff wrong with the front of the inn now.
Okay. So there are 3 witnesses you recognize. So Fala Lafaleur from this building here. That is Coralon's Crown, which is a she's an herbalist. It's an apothecary. She was a witness. She's standing on the street corner. You recognize Jezrin Hornraven is standing on the corner. She was just coming out of T5, which is a business known as the Tiger's Eye. It is a detective agency. And there is a 12-year-old boy named Martin Trek that has been standing on the corner watching, and he seems to be crying, actually.
Oh, I'll hug him and give him a Werther's.
Give him a Werther's and a walnut from your pocket.
Yeah.
He, sobbing, looks up at you and says, right after the explosion, I ducked behind a rain barrel. Then I heard a plop and found this in the barrel. And he shows you another red bead. It is a bead, a second bead from the necklace of fireballs that has a broken clasp. He was here, and it's amazing that he wasn't killed in the blast. He was watching his halfling friends playing the flute, fiddle, and dancing.
Does he have parents to go home to?
He does not. He is a wastrel. He's a scamp that kind of makes his living on the streets.
That is so sad. Oh.
And he of course then he says, would it be all right if I came inside your manor and got something to eat and drink? I won't stay. I'll leave.
Yeah, I'll take him in. I'm not. I don't see the danger in it at all. He'll probably steal all my things and leave, but that's okay.
Okay.
I'll. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm busy.
So you
You
take
guys-
in Martum, and does anybody else want to question Fala or Jezrin?
Hey, do they have child labor laws here, or could he like work at the tavern?
Well, I mean, it is a medieval society, so child labor laws are really more of a guideline than a rule.
Yeah, if he wants a job, I'll hook him up because he's traumatized. I don't know if that'll make him a good employee, but I think he should get a shot, I guess. So at least I get to.
Yeah, you can put him to work.
All right, cool. Then he can stay there and not be homeless.
So, who wants to question Fala? Edith is dealing with Martin. Anybody?
What's the question?
Who wants to question Fala LaFleur?
Sparkles can if nobody else wants to.
Okay, so she tells Sparkles that she says, I was watering my plants in the greenhouse on the second floor of my shop when the blast blew out some of my windows. Lucky I wasn't injured. Though through the smoke I saw a cloaked man take something from the body of that dead gnome. Then he started limping away. He was badly burned and casting glances over his shoulder like he was afraid someone might be following him. He was headed towards the bent nail. The bent nail is T2. And they specialize in, as you would expect, wood-crafted items, furniture, things like that, but also finely carved wooden canes, quarterstaffs, and shields, crossbows, bows, etc. They do quite good work. Their furniture is in demand. Hint, hint. You can spend some money and spruce up your bar stools. And then Bug or Empa, do you want to question Jezrin?
I will.
Sure.
So Jezrin tells the two of you, I tell you, it was not a man. More like a puppet shaped like a man. A puppet without strings. It was on the rooftops. It hurled something into the crowd below that caused the explosion. I saw those halflings burned alive. I saw them.
Puppet.
Yeah, she describes what looks like a human-sized marionette moving across the rooftops that threw something down and blew up.
Next year, me telling me it was aliens.
Yeah, someone needs a good cop, bad cop these people with the truth.
You did it, didn't you? No.
It was the one-armed man.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go set a lookout on our third-story tower with double sight 120 to keep view on the street anytime I'm asleep.
Okay.
Dang. We need to pass all this stuff along to the investigator, though, because, yeah, they... Yep. Well, they're going to speak with the dead, so that'll help, too. But they didn't see it coming, so, yeah.
That's true. So then there's the question if you want to you could follow the city watch to the watchtower and you could attempt to go in. Does anybody have speak with dead?
I do not.
Nope.
Were there any birds or animals in the area that Sparkles noticed?
Make a perception check.
Yeah, rats, birds, pretty much anything of that nature.
There's got to be rats. We're in a city.
15.
Okay, so you do find there Trollskull Alley is rife with rats. Rats are everywhere, but there were some birds as well flying around.
Then she will spend the spell slot and cast Speak with Animals for a duration of 10 minutes.
Okay.
And question the animals, because everybody always forgets to talk to the animals, and she loves the animals.
Okay. So, the first thing of interest that you find.
Ooh, I gotta take care of a cat issue. Ooh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Three of the rats in Trollskull Alley actually turn out to be were-rats. And they are a part of a were-rat street gang.
Oh shit!
But and they're, you know, so the funny part about that is that the three rats are actually halfling were-rats, and they are part of a street gang that operates in the North Ward. That they're your typical punks. It's going to be difficult to get them to give up any information. However, the other rats do give up some information. The information that they give up, that they actually confirm the story of what looks like a man-sized puppet or construct moving across the rooftops. And their description of it is that they describe it as a goldenrod. It is apparently of gold color, metallic, wearing a red cape and a hat with a red hat with a large red feather in it. The birds tell you that the man that was seen limping away, what he took from the dead gnome appeared to be some kind of stone about the size of a river rock. And that's all the information that Sparkles could get from the Speak with Animals spell. So if nobody's got Speak with Dead, there's really no purpose to go. I mean, you can check out. You can go and try to convince Barnabas Blastwind to let you check out the bodies, but the information you'll get from them is going to be minimal compared to if you had Speak with Dead, and you've pretty much already looked over the bodies.
Okay, I'm back now. Whew.
So, what I told everybody else, your Speak with Animals spell revealed that three of the rats in Trollskull Alley are actually halfling were-rats. And they are part of a halfling were-rat street gang that operates in the North Ward. That they're kind of your typical gang punks. They're not going to get, you're not going to get much information out of them. The other rats, however, the regular rats, do confirm the story about there being a man-sized puppet running across the rooftops. They refer to him as a goldenrod. Apparently, he has made of a golden wood or metallic structure. He was wearing a red cloak and a red hat with a big red feather in it. And then the birds tell you that the man who stole something off the body of the dead gnome, it appears that what he took was a stone about the size of a river rock.
With the birds being up high, could they have seen where he might have gone, or it might have gone?
The birds lost track of him. However, they did see that the puppet seemed to move, and let me pull up this other map. The puppet, that's a really small map. So you guys are in the North Ward here. The puppet seemed to move towards the east, towards the Sea Ward.
Good to know. Definitely pass along that information.
That's not east, but okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, west. So the Sea Ward is a very expensive, highly affluent area. Mostly libraries and temples and museums and high-end shops and manors, and rich people live in the Sea Ward. And actually,
So we got 2 beads and a broken necklace, and he took a stone.
yeah, the one guy that was limping that ran away took a stone off the dead gnome. The puppet that dropped the broken necklace of fireballs ran across the rooftops towards the Sea Ward to the west.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, it is up to you guys. What would you like to do?
I think I'm going to concentrate on getting stuff fixed at our place,
Okay.
which is kind of boring, but necessary.
And I've got 2 methods of dark vision watch, one at 120 feet and another at 60 feet in shifts, to see if we can pick up on repeat activity before it happens.
Sparkles is willing to go to the Sea Ward and do some investigating and see if anybody else has seen this construct just out and about somewhere.
What about Bug?
I will follow along with Sparkles because that seems interesting.
Okay.
You can be
Wait.
good cop. I call bad cop.
Okay.
Nothing's scarier than a 4-foot angry fairy.
You sure you don't want me to
Karen.
be bad cop?
So both Bug and Sparkles make a perception check.
I'm good at perception. Let's see what
I'm
we
I got a 3.
got. Nat 20 plus 7.
Oh.
27.
Okay. Okay.
She's used to tracking stuff in the wilderness, poachers and stuff.
Right. So, Sparkles, you're in the Sea Ward. Or Sparkles and Bug, you are both in the Sea Ward. The House of Inspired Hands looks like a cross between a temple and a workshop. The symbol of Gond, a toothed cog with 4 spokes, is displayed prominently. You see the silhouette of a humanoid shape perching on the rooftop. It extends its arm, releasing a tiny metal sparrow into the sky. The bird does a few loops in the air, then veers right toward you. Both of you make a dexterity saving throw.
Damn, why am I rolling so shitty?
Let's see. Dex is a plus
7.
12 plus 3, 15.
So this little tiny mechanical bird runs right into Bug, and it actually does 2 points of damage when it hits him.
Son of a bitch.
And you then see this figure that threw the bird immediately gets a posture of like, oh shit, and it runs back inside the second story window that it was kind of hanging out of and shuts the window and draws the blinds. And this window's on the second story of the House of Gond, which is a temple, or I'm sorry, the House of Inspired Hands, which is a temple of Gond.
Do you guys want to call the police?
The Popo.
Call the Popo.
You know, Cameron, I would have thought that after after what has been going on in the Wednesday night game, you would stop calling the cops. That never turns out well.
I just remember the big list of all the stuff. It said if you kill somebody with cause, you can be enslaved for like 3 years. I'm like, geez, with cause? I'm not getting involved in a damn thing. What I thought when I read that. But Sparkles and Bug may have a different opinion.
How far away are we theoretically from the rest of the party?
Quite a ways. I mean, the North Ward being here and Sea Ward being over in this area. So yeah, you're quite a distance.
Well, I'm wondering if thaumaturgy. Yeah, I'm wondering if that booms your voice 3 times as loud if they would hear me.
You mean whoever's hiding behind the closed blinds in the second story? Yeah, they would hear you.
Oh, no, not them, the rest of the party.
Oh. Probably
maybe
not.
If you made a noise that was unmistakably only from Sparkles.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay.
You do have something in your possession. The party has something in their possession, and it would be easy to say that Sparkles has it, that you may have forgotten about. The paper bird.
I don't think I have a paper bird.
So you guys found a paper bird. A paper bird is a
Edith has it.
Blank sheet of paper. You can write the person's name on it, and you write out your message, and you can fold this thing up into the shape of a bird and throw it, and it will fly. As long as that person is on this material plane, it will fly to that person, land, and unfold itself.
Yeah, I don't think Sparkles had that unless somebody gave it to me and
Edith has
right now.
Edith has it from before.
I wouldn't send you guys out there without the paper bird. Take the paper bird.
I mean that's probably a safe bet. Edith is wise in her years. She probably would think, you take this for safety.
Okay.
And here, have a Werther's original.
And wear a jacket.
Yeah, don't forget to put on your jacket. It's getting cold out there.
If that's the case, then Sparkles will definitely whip out the paper bird right on their Thundercat's hoe and send it off.
Okay. So, are you sending it to Empiking or are you sending it to Edith?
Probably Empiking because I know he's on watch.
Okay. So about 20 minutes later, Empiking, you get flying through the window is this little paper bird, and it lands on the desk right in front of you and unfolds itself, and you get a message that says Thundercats ho.
I guess in the meantime, Bug and I can hide in an alleyway around the corner.
Okay.
So Empiking will look out the window because he doesn't know what a Thundercat is, and he's not sure where he's supposed to look, and he doesn't know what would be done if he did see something. And so he's trying to look as far as he can look to see a pillar of smoke, guards moving, but he doesn't know what.
I would assume that it would be signed by Sparkles as well. So you know it came from Sparkles.
Well, and we would have told you where we're going before we left. Hey, we're going to go check out this area.
Right.
Well, I'll tell Edith the paper bird came in with this message. I'm not sure I understand, but I'll start heading towards Sea Ward, where I think Sparkles and Bug are. And then I'll tell her I left my imp on the 3rd story tower. And he'll be instructed to go alert Edith if he sees suspicious behavior in any of the 3 streets he can watch.
Well, I mean, unless Edith wants to go as well. And don't forget, your imp can turn invisible, so he can he can see things and then report to you at your leisure.
And I share senses with him, so if he reports something from the Trollskull Manor while I'm gone, I'll know it.
Right.
But I wanted Edith in the building, if she's still there, to be aware of what's happening if the imp has news.
I'll go with that boy that we saved his life can do something.
He's helping Liff sweep up and kind of polish up the bar a bit.
I'll
Okay,
tell the
we have-
imp to alert the boy so the boy can be safe if something's coming.
Okay.
He can. I just thought he could send the paper bird if some shit goes down too. So we'll
Yeah.
give him the paper bird now because it's back.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's head out. I will cast mage armor. Preemptively.
Good idea. Ah, yes. I wish all wizards would learn. When I wake up in the morning, I'm going to cast mage armor with my morning cup of coffee. Preferably
We will
before I
search-
get the cup of coffee, because you don't know when a coffee mug is really a mimic.
We will search all of Seaward looking.
Looking for them because I didn't tell you where they were.
I never liked the C word. I find it offensive.
So,
While we're waiting, Sparkles will do cast thaumaturgy to
see, once they get to C word, I'm sure that your booming voice, they would get to make a perception check with advantage to hear your booming voice.
and then also I'm gonna put, while we're waiting, just in case, I'm gonna put Vigilant Blessing on Bug, so he has advantage on the initiation rolls, because that lasts forever.
Okay. So, and actually, I am a better map of the C word. So this kind of zooms in on the C word. So, Edith and Empiking, you are searching. You have no idea where to go.
With my booming voice, I'll be like, Tookie Tookie.
Edith and Empiking, you can make a perception check with advantage.
Not my strong suit, so. Soft one.
A soft one. Wow.
15 is the best one.
So Edith, you can hear that what sounds to be like ridiculous noises coming over from the direction of Ivory Street. You guys are up at the corner of Street of Glances and the Street of the Shining Dolphin, which that sounds like a euphemism. And Sparkles and Bug, you are in an alleyway here on Flint Street, right across from the House of Wonder. And as Empiking and Edith are making their way down the Street of the Shining Dolphin towards Ivory Street, you see that there is a parade procession. And I need to find what it is I am looking for. So you pass a number of things. The first of the things that you see, and I mean you're kind of already aware of some of this stuff, but you see that there are you see city carriages, and the wealthy like to roll around in these carriages that for quick travel, one or two people usually fit in one of these carriages. You see a number of these moving about town. The other one, and I cannot find it because I can't remember the name of it. The other type, there is a double-decker. It looks like a cross between a double-decker bus and a streetcar or a street trolley. And these are horse-drawn, and they don't really stop, but they move slow enough that people can kind of, grab onto the back and jump up. And at the rear of it, there is a very narrow circular staircase that goes up for open air seating on the roof of the car. And you see a number of these moving about. There it is. City carriages. They're really quite cool. And that's why I wanted to show you this picture. Drays. I don't have a picture of the Drays. Really?
No, I don't need a kitty in my lap. I'm sorry. No, no, no.
You always need a kitty in your lap. Always.
So hard to play D&D with a cat in the lap, though.
That is true, yeah. So as you are moving down the street of the Shining Dolphin, you see that there is a bit of a parade coming. And that is because it is the Day of Wonders. And so this is kind of the scene as this parade comes down. This parade is made up of a plethora of different automatons and constructs as it makes its way down the city street. And the automatons do little tricks or dances and act like actual real boys. And this large shield guardian in the picture is offering a little girl a flower. And it's basically just the Day of Wonders is kind of a day for Gond worshippers. And as it makes its way down the street of the Shining Dolphin, it takes a turn and goes up Ivory Street towards the House of Wonder, and then it is going to go down Diamond Street, kind of making a big turn around this entire city block. But you guys eventually make your way to Flint Street, and you meet up with Sparkles and Bug. Bug, who is still nursing a small, tiny, bruised pinprick, and is uncharacteristically whining for a bugbear about how he got hit by this mechanical bird.
Stupid fake bird thing.
And so I'm sure that Sparkles and Bug inform you of what they saw on the second floor of the House of Inspired Hands. Did you call it the House of... Oh, I'm sorry. You're not on Flint Street. You are on Shark Street. You're over here. My bad. I was like, House of Wonder. What?
Is that Alphonse from Full Metal Alchemist?
No, that's a shield... I believe that's a shield guardian.
But it is a lot like Alphonse.
Yeah, it looks a lot like him, yeah. So you're over here on the corner of Shark Street and Sea-Watch Street. God, I feel like I'm in Seaside. And, they point out the House of Inspired Hands, which it is obvious to anybody that this is a temple of Gond. And it is open to the public.
Well, should we waltz on in there?
Oh yeah, Sparkles is following right behind, looking all intimidating with her 4-footness.
So the four of you make your way into the House of Inspired Hands. And the main hall holds 24 marble pedestals. Each one bears a prize-winning invention and a miniature model of some other kind of extraordinary creation. As you're walking in, there's a number of these that stand out. One is a 4-foot-tall working model of a clock tower that rings at the top of every hour. It is made of wood, iron, bronze, and glass, with brass bells and delicate hands formed from solid gold. On another pedestal, you see a wooden flying machine that has wings that flap when it becomes airborne. You find a miniature model of a mechanical dragon turtle that has a brass plate affixed to its pedestal that reads, Big Belchy, sank in Deepwater Harbor on the Day of Wonders in 1363 DR.
Cool.
A functional waking helmet equipped with a small articulated metal arms and hands that gently slap the wearer if he or she falls asleep. A miniature model of a red submarine shaped like a manta ray has a brass plate affixed to its pedestal that reads, "The Scarlet Marpanoff, Lantanese submersible, launched in 1489 DR." And out of a side room comes a woman. She is a dragonborn, wearing the vestments of a priest of Gond, and she introduces herself as Valletta. And she says, "Oh, welcome to the House of Inspired Hands. How may I help you?"
Why are you guys sending birds out windows to attack people?
And
Simple that.
She at that, she immediately is like, "Oh, what? I don't know anything about what you're speaking of. What happened?"
I'll just point at his disgusting wound.
It's disgusting. It looks like somebody jammed a pencil into his chest. I mean, come on. She immediately is like, "Nim," and she says, "Come with me. Let's go upstairs and get to the bottom of this."
Awesome. I love stomping upstairs and getting to the bottom of things.
That's my specialty as an old woman. So she leads you upstairs to the second floor, and she leads you down a narrow hallway, and at the end of this hallway is a shut and locked door, and she knocks on the door and she says, "Nim, you open this door this instant. We need to talk about this." And there's no response that comes from on the other side of the door.
Ooh. Has he jumped out or something? Need to open it.
Is the door locked?
The door is locked. She really would prefer that you not knock the door down, but you are more than welcome to talk to Nim and try to get him to see reason and open the door. Or you could, of course, try to pick the lock, but just, or use a knock spell. But let's not do any property damage.
Well, I'm thinking going Gandalf and using 3 activations of Thaumaturgy for booming voice, tremors, and opening and slamming all doors in nearby. I'm like, "Open the door!"
Do it. That sounds good.
Okay. You can make a intimidation check with advantage.
That's good, because my intimidation's a +0. That's going to be a 14.
Okay, so there is still no response, and Valletta knocks on the door. She says, and she kind of gives Sparkles this unapproving look, and she goes, "Nim, you're not in trouble. Just open the door." She gets a nat 20 on her persuasion check. And
Shit.
Nim, finally, you can hear the latches on the door unlock and open up. And standing in the room is this. You see a creature that looks like this.
Hey, that looks familiar.
And Nim is standing there, and he is kind of looking at the ground like he did something that he shouldn't have. And you see that in this room there is also a small desk, and on this desk are a number of bits and pieces, springs and gears. It looks like he's been tinkering with stuff and building his own little automatons, which is probably not approved considering that he is a construct himself. And Valletta tells you that Nim is actually a Nimblewright. And he is a creation from the island of Lantan. Lantan? He's a Lantanese creation, how's that? And
For a second, I thought you said clamp it.
Clamp it, yeah. And she says Nim's problem is that he doesn't speak or anything, but he does make motions and to show what he's trying to explain, and he's pointing at the desk, and he's kind of making the motions that he cries and that he's sad, And she says, you see, Nim is lonely. And so he's been trying to create his own creations to make his own friends. And she says, well, I apologize for the bird not functioning as Nim had intended because he doesn't know what he's doing. But is there another reason that you came to the House of Inspired Hands?
Well, we were kind of looking for this guy because we'd gotten word that he might be involved in a bombing at our establishment.
So Nim, as soon as he hears you say this, Nim holds up his hands and is like this, like, it wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Do we still have the necklace?
I would imagine you do.
Can I show it to her and ask if it's a thing she's seen?
So she looks at it. She says, yeah, this is a necklace of fireballs. And she looks over at Nim and she goes, what is this? Where did they get this? And Nim starts pointing at the desk, and he makes a motion about his height, and the general conveyance is that he created another member of his kind. He made another Nimblewraith. And Valletta, he continues to speak in very strange, a mix of sign language and pantomime. And
So we're playing charades with the robot?
essentially, yes. And Valletta has dealt with Nim for quite some time, and she is translating for him. And essentially what the story is that Nim is terribly, terribly lonely, and so he created a friend. And unfortunately this time, he was quite successful. He did create another Nimblewraith. But the other Nimblewraith kind of ended up being a little bit more unruly and had a mind of his own, and didn't like the idea that he was trapped here, feeling that he was enslaved by the House of Inspired Hands, and so he ran away. And Nim doesn't know where he went from there. But Valletta says, I have just the device that I can give you that will help you track down this errant Nimblewraith. And she says, he shouldn't have been created in the first place. So if you decide that you just want to end him, feel free. The House of Inspired Hands doesn't have any kind of hold on that Nimblewraith. If you want to put it down, that's up to you.
What's the device?
The device is a Nimblewraith detector, and it looks like the most ridiculous thing that you could ever possibly want. It looks almost exactly like its name. It is the Nimblewraith detector. So she shows you how this works, and she says that it is a magical device. To activate the Nimblewraith detector, you must hold down its trigger, which is your little clamp thing there at the bottom. And when the activated device comes within 500 feet of a Nimblewraith other than Nim, the umbrella will begin to spin, whir, and click. The spinning, whirring, and clicking accelerates as the distance to the target becomes less, reaching maximum velocity and volume when a Nimblewraith other than Nim is within 30 feet of the device.
Does she have any preferences on whether or not this wayward Nim is kept alive or destroyed? Like, what's her preference?
She is leaving that entirely up to you. However, her stance on it is that one, this newly created Nimblewraith wasn't sanctioned. It should not have been created, and Nim doesn't have any authority to make other constructs, especially one as smart as a Nimblewraith. And she says, and two, the bigger issue with this problem is that this newly created Nimblewraith seems to have run errant and has a little bit too much of a mind of its own, and so he probably wouldn't be welcome at the House of Inspired Hands unless he changed his attitude. And being a construct, it is unlikely that he would do so. So, how you want to deal with him is entirely up to you. But he seems to her to be more trouble than he's worth.
Makes sense.
How would we know that the thing finds the right nimble right?
That's a good question. But she says that there shouldn't be very many nimble rights in all of Waterdeep. They are very, very specific, and they are from Lanton, so which is way to the south. Like it's down near Chult. So they're a long ways away. These are expensive toys to have, and it's very unlikely that you're going to run into many more of them that are in the city.
Well, the one we're looking for came this way, so you shouldn't be far from here.
In fact, Valletta says, she kind of changes her stance. She says, this nimble right shouldn't exist. If you were to find it and destroy it, the House of Inspired Hands will pay you 500 gold pieces. And if you return to me with proof of its destruction, I can promise you a reward. And I can offer you, as a reward, one of our non-magical inventions. The first of which is adjustable stilts. The other one is a backpack parachute. There's another one that's a barking box, and a matchless pipe. Each of you can get a choice of which of those items you want.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I want her to ask Nim how he would feel if we destroyed his errant friend.
Nim, she doesn't need to ask. Nim does understand language. Nim immediately acts sad and stares at the floor and kind of sits down on his bed.
Does she have any tips for capturing a Nimblewright?
She says, hammers and swords work well.
She really wants it gone.
If we, how much can we disassemble it before it deconstructs? Like, can we bring back a talking head? Because that's funny.
Well, they don't speak, and that's a good question. I mean, as inventions, while they wouldn't count as a magical device so much, they are still some form of magic has to go into creating them.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't take too much. You remove one or two component gears or a couple of springs, and suddenly it loses all of its magical capability and it just ceases to function.
That's what I was wondering, if we could take off the arms and legs and be like, here he is.
Yeah, I mean, you can bring back any part of him, and that would count towards.
Well, I meant more of keeping it alive for his friend, but disassembling it enough where it can't do anything.
Johnny 5 is alive, no disassemble.
So I think that this is an excellent spot to break. We will pick up next week with you guys beginning your search using the ridiculous Nimblewright detector to try and run around all over the city. We might end up having to put Sparkle's flying ability to the real test. Flying all over the city trying to locate the errant Nimblewright and the adventures that shall certainly ensue from that.
Sounds good.
All right, see you guys next week.
All right, I will see you guys on Saturday at 12 o'clock.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
You're welcome. Have a good night, guys.